If you've used automation tools like Zapier or n8n in the past, you'll know that their biggest limitation is that you can only automate tools that have an API. But in reality, there are many tools in the world that don't have an API. For example, your company's internal systems or platforms like Xiaohongshu, if they don't provide an API, it's almost impossible for you to automate them. However, I believe there will be a big change in the coming year because tools like Manus, which can control your browser, have also started to provide APIs. This means that in future automation workflows, even if a tool doesn't have an API, you can still use Manus to get the job done. Actually, I think Manus's API hasn't been officially announced yet. I stumbled upon it by accident. When I clicked on the settings and went to the integration section in the bottom left corner, I saw that they had added an API feature. So let me go to their official website. Their X account hasn't mentioned anything about releasing an API. In fact, even when I searched for Manus API on YouTube, I couldn't find any videos introducing Manus's API. So I suspect that this might be the very first video on YouTube to explain Manus's API feature. As of now, this feature is still in testing and hasn't been officially launched, but I've already tried it and it works. So in this video, I'll demonstrate how to use it in n8. Automatically post notes to Xiaohongshu. Now, posting notes to Xiaohongshu originally didn't have an API. Of course, this is just an example. It doesn't have to be Xiaohongshu. You can apply this to any website or system, like your company's internal system. The first thing isn't to go into n8n, but rather, you should first test it in Manus to see if it can actually post a note to Xiaohongshu. So here, I gave it a prompt, asking it to go to this link and then publish this note for me. So I gave it the note's title, the note's content, and the cover photo for the note. This photo was also generated by AI. Then, Manus will use its own computer, also known as a virtual computer, to handle this task. So what's the difference between Manus's virtual computer and the newly launched browser in Perplexity's comment? Because in the comment browser, you can type on the right side, and then the browser will operate on its own. The biggest difference is that with Manus, you're using its virtual computer. In other words, you don't need to keep your own computer on, it will operate automatically for you. With Perplexity, for this type of browser, if you want to automate things, you have to keep your computer on. Then, it uses the browser where you've already logged into your account. For example, in my browser, I'm already logged into Xiaohongshu, so it uses your browser to do things, and it doesn't need to log into those accounts again. The main drawback is that you have to keep your computer on for it to control your browser. The advantage of Manus is that you don't need to keep your own computer on, because you're using the browser on their computer. But the downside is that you have to log into your account on their browser, which does carry a bit of risk. For me, though, accounts like Xiaohongshu aren't that important, so I don't mind logging in on their computer. But if you ask me to log into my gym account on their computer, I wouldn't dare. So, if you want to automate this task on n8n later, the prerequisite is that you first have to do it once in Manage. When it gets to the point where it needs to log in, it will prompt you, and then you can control their computer. After you log into your account on their computer, it will remember that you have logged in, so next time you will not need to log in again. Here, I logged in with my new Xiaohongshu account, and then it automatically uploaded the post and published it according to my instructions. But here, I ran into a problem. The title on Xiaohongshu can only be up to 20 characters, but my title had 21 characters, so it asked me if I still wanted to publish the post. So I just told it, go ahead and publish the post as is, and let's see if it knows how to solve the problem by itself. When I told it to publish, it realized there was one extra character in the title, so it decided on its own to shorten the title and then resubmitted it, and successfully published this note. Along the way, it did encounter some issues, like it tried several times but couldn't paste the text. After trying a few different methods, it finally succeeded. So the first step is that you need to be inside Manus. You need to successfully create the tar first before you can proceed. Only then can you go into n8n to carry out the automation process. Next, the second part is about automatically posting notes on Xiaohongshu. What I do is take content from this news website and automatically convert it into Chinese to post as a Xiaohongshu note. The method I use is called RSS, which means that whenever this website publishes news, it will send a notification to me in m/m. First, I created something called a data table. If you don't know what that is, you can check out my previous videos. Simply put, it's n8n has launched a new feature that allows you to create a simple database within it. In this database, I set up several fields. The first is to store the link to the news website, then the news title, the publication date, and the status of the news. The published status means that a piece of news has already been posted as a Xiaohongshu note. Once you have this status, it helps you avoid posting duplicates, because if you do not mark whether something has already been posted, it will keep publishing the same note over and over again. And then, this part is I have the AI filter whether this news article is worth publishing to Xiaohongshu. So in n8n, we have two automations. The first automation uses RSS to filter which news articles should be published directly to Xiaohongshu. The second automation is based on the news article to write content and then publish it to Xiaohongshu. What you see on the screen now is the first automation, which fetches news based on RSS. Then, I have an AI agent to filter the news. Inside, I gave it a prompt, telling it that it only needs to output suitable content. So for example, what kind of news is not suitable? Things like unverified rumors, gossip news, or leaks without authoritative content. I categorize all these as unsuitable. So the suitable ones will have a tick, and the unsuitable ones won't have a tick. Therefore, in the second automation, I will only select news articles that have a tick, and whose status is not yet published. Now, moving on to the second automation, as I mentioned earlier, I will pick news that is suitable and not yet published. Then, it first needs to read the news article. Then the content is handed over to the AI agent to write. Now, among the models available in n8n, my favorite one to use is the Kimi model from the mainland. Its performance is excellent and the price is very affordable. I'll explain more about it in my next video. After that, the AI will write the Xiaohongshu post based on the content. Here, I set up a step. Once the post is drafted, it first needs to be sent to Slack for my approval. Only after I approve it can it be posted to Xiaohongshu. Slack is a tool similar to Microsoft Teams. Here, you'll see that based on the news article, it designed this Xiaohongshu cover image. So what is this news about? It's about Zora finally launching its Android version. Since it's being posted on Xiaohongshu, simplified Chinese is used. This here is the Xiaohongshu title and the content. If I think it's okay, I can click response. When I click response, a dialog box will pop up where I can say okay, or if there's anything that needs to be changed, I can let them know as well. Here, after I approve this Xiaohongshu content, we get to the main point, which is through Manus API will then publish the content to Xiaohongshu. Here, I will provide the Xiaohongshu title, which is the content written in the previous AI agent step, as well as the cover design. In addition, if I made any comments in the previous step, I will include them here too, so it can make modifications based on my comments. For example, my previous comment was simply, okay, so you'll see that this information will also be given to Manus as a reference. Of course, I also need to provide the link to the Xiaohongshu post. So here, let me try testing it out and execute. It worked! So now I've sent this task to Manus's Air Agent through the API method in n8n. Actually, the design of Manus is quite good. When it sends out this task, if I log back into the management interface, you'll see here that it's processing this task. I can also click in to see how it's going. Now, this message you see here is the one I just sent through n8n. So now you can see that it's opened the computer and already uploaded this photo. Since I've already logged into the Xiaohongshu account earlier, it doesn't need to ask me to log into the Xiaohongshu account again. Let's see if it will require my approval before publishing this post. Normally, if I'm automating things, of course, I'd want it to publish directly, right? It shouldn't have to ask me again. So, actually, I've done some little tricks in Chrome for this. I told it to publish directly, without needing to confirm with me a second time. That way, it achieves 100% automation. In the test just now, it already succeeded in using the n8n automation process. And even without an API, it used the Manus AI agent to help me post this note on Xiaohongshu. So to sum up, the whole process is divided into two automations. The first automation is based on the TechCrunch website. Every day at 6 o'clock, it uses RSS to pull content from this news website, first saving it into the database and categorizing it. Then, once I have this database, every day at 9 o'clock, it will use the news data to write a Xiaohongshu note. After it finishes writing, it will change the status to publish. This way, I can fully automate posting notes on Xiaohongshu. As for the Xiaohongshu n8n automation process I just mentioned, I will also share it with the students who join our course. My company, OMP, has already been established for 10 years, and this year we will be holding a course called Advanced Marketing Strategies. This course mainly focuses on marketing, and you'll learn how to use and integrate AI to achieve some content automation. The automated Xiaohongshu note creation you just saw is one example. Actually, what's a key point in content marketing? It's that we need to ensure the quality of our content. So you'll see in one of the steps, it actually requires my approval before it can post, because if you don't approve at all and just let it keep doing things on its own, then you won't be able to control the quality. As the name suggests, this course is advanced content. For participants, I recommend that you have at least 1 year of experience managing social media, or have run Facebook or Google ads before. In this course, you'll learn marketing strategies as well as AI tools. If you have never used any automation tools at all, I suggest you also combine it with our n8n workshop held a week earlier, on November 29th. Because if you first learn how to use the n8n tool, then attend the marketing automation workshop, you'll have a much better foundation. Now, this advanced marketing strategy course will have a special 10th anniversary offer. Anyone who has attended any of our courses lasting 3 hours or more in the past 10 years can get a $1,000 discount, and there are 20 spots available. So if you want to get this offer, Okay now, then you need to inbox us on our OMP Facebook page. You'll need to provide the email you used when you attended our previous courses. And once we verify that this email matches our records of past students, we'll give you a $1,000 discount code. If you haven't attended any of our courses in the past 10 years, that's okay too. You can still sign up for the n8n course we're holding a week earlier. After completing that course, you can also inquire on our OMP Facebook page, and you'll also be eligible for the $1,000 discount. That's the discount. If you want to learn more about the details of this course, feel free to click the link below the video.